Just about everything becoming more expensive, there are some things you just can't do without. One of them is a reliable car, with many relying on them for for business or just getting to work. Westbank's Lebogang Gauketsi joins us now to discuss new car sales and trends. Good morning, Lebogang, and thank you very much for your time. You know, I must say, just looking at the stats, it's honestly quite interesting that the motor sales industry has been so resilient in such difficult economic times. What would you attribute this resilience to?
Good morning, Fundo, and thank you for having me on the show. I think, cars are always needed. So consumers are still needing cars. They're still moving around, despite of the tough economic times. What we are seeing, though, is not a stop in applications. People are still applying. They are rather downgrading to obviously make sure that, they afford the cars or the wheels that they get themselves into. So the greater focus is affordability and not necessarily going without a car.
And then is the consideration also on the type of car insofar as fuel consumption is concerned? Are you also seeing those kind of trends there where it's a consideration?
100%. I mean, we all know that petrol prices are actually going quite haywire at this point. And that's a huge factor that, a person considers, hence the downgrades where we're seeing people move away from the high-end luxury cars, where one would own, a big car driving around with their family. Now, with people working from home, downgrades are very prevalent, where people are going into entry-level vehicles. You drive alone, it's fuel efficient, you can afford it, and you don't drive to the office every day. So those are the trends that we are seeing. There's a huge move as well from new cars. So people are not necessarily buying new cars. They're moving towards used cars because they are good used cars that one can get on the market.
So generally people are looking to save. But talk to us about this. I know it's a bit technical though. Are you seeing a lot of people using the argument of perhaps second-hand vehicles being more fuel efficient? As we've heard, we don't know how true this is, but it's believed that the newer ones use more fuel as opposed to the second-hand cars. Have you ever heard of such?
Look, to be honest, a new car eventually becomes a used car. So there's no truth or sense, so to speak, that a new car is more, expensive from a cost of fuel perspective. But what I would say is that, one needs to look at the affordability holistically, because owning a car is more than just the installment, as we know. It entails, as we've said, the fuel price, there's the interest rates that have been going up, quite often. There's other extras like your value-added products when you look at your insurance, because one needs insurance, you need a service and motor plan, for example, and tracking devices. So I think that the focus should be more on the holistic total cost of ownership as opposed to, a new or a used vehicle. And also one looks at their needs, what are my needs? Do I have a big family? Do I need a new car? Because you can't get a used car that meets all your needs. The big thing, and I do need to emphasize, because we educate our customers a lot on this, is affordability. You must be able to afford the car that you get into.
No, that's a very, very important factor, affordability. Lebogang, thank you very much for your time this morning. That's Westbank Head of Marketing and Communications, Lebogang Gauketsi. Now, still to